What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well as the New York Knicks go on to lose to the Philadelphia 76ers 123-108 at the Wells Fargo Center. Obviously, I was not expecting a W. I want us to win. Like, that would be a cherry on top to spoil James Harden's home debut, but that did not go on to happen as the Philadelphia 76ers were the better team down the stretch. They were the better team in the second half, and they definitely deserved to win this game. Again, I want us to win, but was it realistic to win this game or think to win this game? No. James Harden's been a beast with Joel Embiid. You have Tobias Harris. You got Tyrese Maxey. You have Thibault, who's a stud defensively. We do not match up well versus this Philadelphia 76ers team at all when it comes to Embiid's physicality, James Harden's finesse of drawing fouls. You could say no one matches up well against those guys, though. Those are some of the best players in basketball. And Maxey, he's definitely a candidate for most improved player. And he definitely should be at the top of the list of winning that thing because he's been an absolute stud. He's been amazing, and I think he's in a much better role next to James Harden, not being asked to do a lot when it comes to the playmaking duties. But I wanted to see progression from the young guys that actually do play, like an RJ Barrett, Jericho Sims that played, Cam Reddish, Obi, quickly. You know the deal. We got to see those guys play, except Miles McBride, of course. So, I'm a New York Knicks fan, but I'm also an NBA fan / basketball fan, so I was pretty excited to see James Harden introduced by, the 76ers announcer, just announcing his name. Just also Maxey, I love his energy. I'm not a Sixers fan, but just Maxey being excited, just really energizing the Philadelphia 76ers players. He just seems like he has great positive spirits, and him and Quickly both have that. They played at Kentucky together, but the final score of 123-108 did not equal this game at all. This was actually a close basketball game. And at one point, the Knicks were in control of this game. Eventually, some things did swing in the Philadelphia 76ers' favor of just playing better basketball. So the crowd definitely was crazy. They were just hoping for Harden to get that bucket. The crowd was going nuts when Harden would catch the basketball. But the New York Knicks were in control of the first quarter and a little bit of that second quarter of basketball. RJ Barrett started off playing good, knocking down threes, pulling up from mid-range territory, drawing fouls, or he was good for this entire game. I'm sorry. This dude's been playing great basketball. Comes back from an ankle injury, 46 points versus the Miami Heat, one of the best defensive teams, one of the best teams in basketball. Plays decent versus the Philadelphia 76ers, and then he goes on to drop 30 in kind of a near triple-double. He distributed the basketball well, rebounded well, really played good defense. I like the way RJ Barrett played in this game. So credit to RJ Barrett. He really did set the tone. We were forcing turnovers. We were scoring off of those turnovers. We were getting out and running. We looked energetic. We looked like we wanted it more. I thought we were playing decent defense on an Embiid. Solid defense on Tobias Harris, a Maxey, a Harden. Their top guns for sure. And I was like, this is great because they don't have much of a bench. I wasn't getting overly excited when we were up double digits. But then because it's the New York Knicks, of course, and we've blown many leads this season, as of course we went on to blow another one. But Julius Randle, he was thriving offensively, scoring the rock. You could say there's a big part of his game offensively that he's definitely flawed at, that he did not execute well in this game. But he was taking advantages of mismatches. He was getting to the free throw line, hitting fadeaway jumpers. I really got to give credit to Randle in that department. But the other starters, actually, Mitch played, I thought, pretty well. He actually did a good job fronting Embiid. He did the best he could on Embiid, who was the MVP, in my opinion, and the best center in the league. He did a good job fronting him, being a lot more physical compared to the past game, rebounding the ball well. He was a lot better offensively. To really give credit to Mitchell Robinson. He had an injury scare, but hopefully he is okay. But Alec Burks, what much do I have to say about him? He's being played out of position. He's not a starter in this league. He's not a point guard in this league. He can't read the floor to save his life at all. But I don't understand. This has nothing to do with being a point guard, though. He just does this in general. He's a terrible finisher around the rim. He doesn't know that. He clearly doesn't lack confidence. When Joel Embiid's in the paint, you're driving left. At least be strong. Use a floater over Embiid. This dude just casually drives to the basket, goes up with his right hand on the left side of the rim with a soft finger roll on Embiid. He was blocked 2 or 3 times by Joel Embiid. What do you really think is going to happen? But anyway, we were forcing turnovers. We were able to score in transition. But at the same time, you could say the rotations weren't great by Doc Rivers. I don't really understand his rotations sometimes with James Harden. He doesn't really play players sometimes out there on the floor that really complement him in that second unit. But you could say they're flat out just not playing good defense also. You could say we were getting buckets, but they're flat out not playing good defense, and they weren't really engaged. Not everyone was on the same page. It definitely was sloppy. I thought Niang didn't play that well off the bench. Danny Green, he knocked down a three, but he had some boneheaded turnover. Everyone just looked, I'm not going to say lazy, but a little too calm out there. They needed a little more pep in their step, as it wasn't just Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, and Julius Randle. Like, Cam Reddish came off the bench. Like, he had a nice finish in transition, just like very far away from the rim. Just great touch finishing in transition. Knocked down a three or a couple threes. I thought he played well on defense. He looked pretty good with RJ out there on the floor. Really got to give credit to him. He got into foul trouble. Same thing with a Mitch. And Jericho Sims that got into foul trouble as well. But Jericho Sims, I thought he played strong. He had a nice offensive rebound that slammed it down. He didn't foul out, so he's starting to play a little more disciplined, even though he got into foul trouble. But it's tough going up against one of the best centers in the league of Joel Embiid. But I thought he played some solid defense. He played extremely hard out there on the floor. You have Quickly, who scored the ball. Like, Maxey really took advantage of him, though, when he did check into the game. Just Maxey knows his game. He's like, this is my boy, but he don't play much defense. And it feels like Quickly always comes to play versus his bro Maxey. They played with each other at Kentucky, John Calipari. They really just switched them back and forth or flip-flopped them when it came to the point guard position, shooting guard position. So he definitely did take advantage of Quickly driving to the basket. But Quickly managed to knock down a floater, knock down a three from the outside. Just one huge three in transition to put us up a lot of points. But due to Mitch getting into foul trouble, due to Jericho Sims getting into foul trouble, we eventually put Taj in, which I actually thought he did the little things and played well. So we're up double digits. The bench is giving us some production. Some young guys like a Cam Reddish. Obi, I didn't think we really did much with Obi. I'm saying we didn't do much with Obi because we put him in the position to fail, standing him and putting him in the corner, as always, when he's not a three-point shooter. He only shot 2 to 3 threes per game in college. We're treating him like he's freaking Kristaps Porzingis. I don't understand it as well when we should have him cutting to the basket, moving without the ball. But the offense was extremely vanilla. But anyway, we have the young guys playing well. You have your top guns of Randle and RJ playing well. And we're kind of keeping their top guns in check. But Harden eventually did a good job drawing fouls. Embiid eventually got his. Maxey, I thought we did a good job on, but Thibault had some very nice moments defensively. And he also hit a three at the top of the key. So after us being in control of, you could say, a little bit of the second quarter and a lot of that first quarter, we fell apart when it came to the ball movement and just the overall offense. Because how do you expect to play consistently good basketball offensively when there's not constant ball movement, when it's just give it to one guy, go to work? It feels like every time, like Quickly sometimes ran down the shot clock. Same thing with Burke. Same thing with Randle. As much as I love RJ, you see that with every player on this team. And it starts with the coach. The coach is allowing this to happen. What is the playbook? Is there a playbook? Just such a joke. But the 76ers, they started to force turnovers on us. And just RJ Barrett, he had 18 points in the first quarter. Or the first half. Or it was 16 or 18. Something like that. RJ Barrett was efficient, knocking down threes, pulling up from mid-range territory, driving to the basket. Thibault had a couple very nice defensive possessions on RJ. He's a defensive stud. By the way, the refs were not the greatest in this game. But us after, we were up over 10, I believe, at one point. But we closed out that second quarter so poorly. We literally froze RJ Barrett out of the offense for 5 minutes. Randle scored the ball. Credit to him in that department. He was aggressive. He looked engaged on both ends of the floor. But it's up here. His basketball IQ is so bad. How do you not recognize RJ Barrett wide open in the corner, wide open at the top of the key? When someone actually is cutting, how do you not recognize him? If you watch this game, RJ finished with 30. He distributed the ball well. He rebounded the ball well. He ran in transition. He knew when to slow it down. He was beautiful when it came to controlling the flow of this offense. He should have had 40. He shouldn't have even had 30. He was excellent tonight. I just don't understand it. And then eventually we had some turnovers. They had some huge buckets. Shake Milton actually came in, provided them a little bit of a spark because Niang was struggling. Danny Green knocked down a three, but again, he had stupid turnover. Just everyone was just playing just careless basketball. But eventually the Sixers started to get it together. So we're not even up 10. I believe we're up only 8 entering halftime, or up 6. But the third quarter of doom comes around. We knew this was coming. The first 6 or 7 minutes in, how many points does RJ have? 2. You know why? Because he attempted 2 shots. And eventually we do kick it out to RJ. He starts missing because he's frozen out of the damn offense. Randle settling for these fadeaways. Just Reddish is not playing because he's in foul trouble, but I don't care. Put him out there anyway. It's 3 fouls, not like he has 5. Like, it's just such a freaking disaster. Tyrese Maxey, like, it was literally flip-flop of us getting buckets. They were getting buckets, like, so easily. Our defense fell apart. We weren't stopping dribble penetration. We weren't closing out hard enough. They're killing us outside on the perimeter. Their defense did get better, though, to really give them credit. But Maxey was a beast. He was dribble penetrating like crazy. He was knocking down threes from the outside. He was getting to the free throw line. I thought he competed on defense. Maxey's been fantastic for the Philadelphia 76ers. I really got to give credit to that man. He really has been. But they go on this run, their top guns start getting going. Even though I thought we played, like, Harden had, 18 or 19 points at half, but he finished with 28. Maybe he scored some at the very end. But I thought we did a pretty damn good job on Harden. But his ability to just finish with so much physicality around the rim, it's insane to watch. But Burks, the hell are you doing? Just forcing layups. It was just a mess. Like, just taking unnecessary shots outside on the perimeter when we didn't need them. Just bad situational basketball. It's bad offense, bad communicating. But, when RJ's out there on the floor, the third quarter was a disaster, but Tobias Harris started to get things going. What really got him going is when we had a defensive collapse and we allowed him open from mid-range territory. But in that fourth quarter, there was a chance we were going to come back. They put Harden out there on the floor with Millsap, the second unit, like Danny Green, Niang, and I didn't like it. I thought it was a terrible decision by Doc Rivers. We start coming back. You know why? Randall's not in the game. RJ's running the show. He's making the key passes. He had a huge and one. Knocking down a 3, getting to his spots. He's patient. He's not rushing shots. He's getting everyone involved. But it was too much. Tobias Harris started cooking. Maxey hit a ridiculous 3. And we just had no one else to help RJ down the stretch. We need more talented young guys. We need more talented guys in general. Fournier was a no-show. This dude was a brick. He did nothing tonight. He did absolutely nothing. The 76ers were just better. New York Knicks lose. Peace out, y'all.